The 48 Laws of Power. When you combine a book written by your manipulative ex with one from a master strategist, you get The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. At first glance, it might seem like a self-help book about climbing the corporate ladder, but trust me, it's darker than that. So much so that it's been banned in numerous prison systems around the world. Premise? It introduces ways for you to use strategies and tactics to get ahead, but these aren't your typical wake up early, hit the gym, journal your goals tips that you hear from the usual TED Talks. No, this book goes deeper. It's about how to manipulate people, situations, and power dynamics to get what you want. For instance, one law advises you to conceal your intentions, perfect for being the sneakiest person in the office. Another suggests you let someone else do the work for you, essentially showing you how to manipulate someone into doing your dirty work so that you can coast by while they carry the load. These strategies work great in the ruthless world of corporate warfare, where it's kill or be killed on the corporate ladder. But in everyday life, it's like bringing a bazooka to a snowball fight. Overkill. Manipulating people in normal day-to-day interactions is just unnecessary and, frankly, kind of insane. Because of its extreme tactics, the 48 Laws of Power has been banned in schools and prisons alike. The last thing you want in a school lunchroom is to turn it into an episode of Game of Thrones minus the dragons, but with plenty of backstabbing. And let's be real, prisons already have enough issues, from drug lords to murderers. The last thing they need is to turn their inmates into masterminds of manipulation. 120 Days of Sodom. 120 Days of Sodom by Marquis de Sade is so shocking, it makes 50 Shades of Grey feel like a harmless fairy tale. The book doesn't just sit at the top of the R-rated scale, it's off the charts, heading into XXX territory with its obscenity. The story centers around a group of wealthy men who seclude themselves in a castle, not for some refined gathering, but to indulge in every twisted fantasy known to humankind. They round up 9 boys and girls and subject them to 120 days of unspeakable horrors. What you'll find here is so obscene, even someone like Johnny Sins might hesitate before flipping through the pages. Marquis de Sade, the author, spared no detail. Every perverse act, from sadism to masochism, is laid out like a smorgasbord of shocking taboos, each more appalling than the last. Imagine a circus where morality is tossed aside, taking a vacation to let madness take over, becoming the new normal in this twisted tale. The book doesn't just cross the line, it vaults over it, making it a forbidden classic that could make even the most devout faint from shock. Only 1% of the fastest people can click on like button and subscribe before time runs out. Write on the comments done if you did it on time. Animal Farm. George Orwell's Animal Farm starts off like the cute, catchy tune of Old MacDonald. Had a farm, but quickly takes a dark turn. The animals on this farm, fed up with being bossed around by humans, eventually kick them out and decide to run the show themselves. No humans? No problem, right? Sounds like a perfect utopia for Porky and the gang. But don't be fooled. Orwell's deceptively simple tale about barnyard politics is a razor-sharp critique of society. The pigs on the farm rise to power, quickly taking over as the new rulers, the so-called head hogs. They start off preaching equality for all animals, but before long they're doing what the humans did, oppressing everyone and claiming they're the superior ones. The farm becomes a dystopian pigsty where inequality thrives. In a nutshell, Orwell's message is clear. Revolutions that promise power to the people often just end up bringing in a new set of dictators. His satirical look at power-hungry leaders is a savage takedown of those who claim to fight for equality, but secretly believe they deserve more than anyone else. Governments who saw Animal Farm for what it truly was weren't just afraid of their dirty laundry being aired, they feared it would inspire people to see their leaders less as noble heroes and more as greedy pigs. Lady Chatterley's Lover. Picture England in the early 1900s, where every woman is dressed so conservatively from head to toe, even catching a glimpse of skin feels as forbidden as flipping through a Playboy magazine. Enter D.H. Lawrence with Lady Chatterley's Lover. This taboo-breaking novel brought forth a whirlwind of steamy, morally questionable scenes that scandalized its time. The story revolves around Lady Chatterley, trapped in a marriage so dull that watching paint dry would seem more thrilling, since her husband is paralyzed and unable to fulfill her desires. This isn't the type of woman to sit idle and sew all day. She craves adventure, passion, and the kind of physical affection that her marriage simply can't offer. With her husband rendered incapable, she embarks on an affair with the gamekeeper, Mellors. Now, this guy's the rugged outdoorsman, the type who looks like he should be on the cover of Men's Health, with muscles you could practically see from space. And while you might expect this affair in the woods to be the only shocking part of the story, that's only scratching the surface. Lawrence didn't just write about steamy love affairs, he also used the book to challenge England's rigid class structures and societal expectations, at a time when there was almost no distinction between a high-class English lady and a nun. The novel boldly criticized the upper echelons of society, unapologetically discussing sex, forbidden relationships, and the class divides that defined the time. The Anarchist Cookbook. Imagine a book that reads like a rebellious teen's diary mixed with a recipe book for causing a bit of mayhem. That's the Anarchist Cookbook. This infamous boundary-pushing guide dives into how to stir up chaos in society's kitchen. Written by William Powell during the restless 1970s, a period simmering with Cold War tension and a rebellious spirit, this book merges Han Solo's roguish charm with a flair for dangerous experiments, offering step-by-step instructions not on cupcakes but on concocting explosives, weapons, and other dubious gadgets. Powell's guide isn't just a theoretical manifesto for mischief. It has had actual, sometimes disturbing, real-world effects, being associated with various incidents of violence and disruption. Authorities have condemned the Anarchist Cookbook as an instigator of chaos, while some defend it as a radical expression of free speech. It's hard to think of it as just a book when you catch your kid converting household items into dangerous contraptions. And as much as some may find a strange thrill in its rebellious edge, others view it as a very risky recipe indeed. The Satanic Verses. Spot this book at a blowout yard sale, and if you buy it thinking it'll teach you how to make a pact with the devil, you'll be let down. It's no demon summoning guide, but it stirred up plenty of chaos in religious circles all the same. The Satanic Verses kicks off with two characters surviving a plane explosion, mysteriously growing wings and falling into bizarre hallucinations. They morph into fantastical beings, one becoming an angel and the other a devil, as though dropped into a surreal RPG. Jibril, the angel character, relives moments from the Prophet Muhammad's life, and this is where things take a sharp turn. This fictional retelling includes Satan slipping in a few verses among the Quran's text, twisting parts of Islam's holy book into supposed devil's work. Seen as deeply offensive and blasphemous, this imaginative take on Muhammad's story made the Satanic Verses the Voldemort of novels. Simply saying its name can raise eyebrows. Many libraries discreetly tucked it away as if it were a treasure map, leading to controversy. In 1989, Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran issued a fatwa, a formal Islamic edict, but practically a death sentence, making the book's author a marked man, forcing him into hiding. But it wasn't just the book's content. The shockwaves it set off were unsettling, triggering protests, debates, and even violent clashes among the Islamic community. To religious leaders, the book felt like a public insult to their revered figures, like someone disrespecting something as personal as your grandma's ashes at a gathering. Even so, this notorious work continues to spark discussions in secular circles, proving that even a party pooper can stir up quite a buzz.
I don't think you can click on the next video before 3 seconds runs out. 3, 2, 1.